After we have understood the business and learned all what there is to learn about it, it's time to look at the specific system we are going to work on. The first thing to look at are the system's goals. Now, it's important to note, we are not talking here about what the system should do. These are not goals, these are requirements, and it's important to distinguish one from the other. When talking about goals, we are talking about the effect the system will have on the organization. This effect can be almost anything, but it should be clear how this will affect the bottom line of the organization. The reason we should be fully aware of the system's goals is that as architects, we must always think about the big picture. We must know what is the environment our system is going to be operating in and what are the main tasks it's going to tackle. Usually, the client should tell you what the system's goals are, but this is not always the case. I once had a client that asked me to design the architecture of a specific system for him. The system specifications were clear, the various services and screens were already defined, and it looked like an easy task. However, when we began discussing the place of the system in the organization, we found out almost no one was going to use the system as it is. There were many other systems which performed similar tasks, albeit in a less comfortable manner, but the users were already used to those systems, and there was simply not a strong enough incentive for them to move to the new one. We ended up changing almost all of the system's scope and functionality, and the final product was a much smaller but much more focused and effective system. Let's take a look at some examples of goals. First, new HR system for a product-oriented company. The goal is to streamline the recruitment process, thus attracting better candidates. This, of course, will help the company build better products more quickly, thus growing the revenue. 2. New information system for reporting and mapping criminal incidents in the city. The goal here is to improve the police response time for every incident and to encourage new residents to migrate to the city. Of course, there is also a hidden agenda here. This system will help the mayor to be re-elected in the next elections. Next, mobile application for flash sales. The organization here is a small and young startup with only 3 developers. The goal here is twofold. 1. Earn money as fast as possible, and 2. Attract investors. Okay, so we've talked about the system goals, and let's go on to another important aspect of the system which must be on the architect's mind.